degrees to radians. All right, we're going to be converting from degrees to radians. Okay, we're going to, let's put it up here to save a little bit of paper here. We're going to multiply by pi radians over 180 degrees. We're going to multiply by pi radians over 180 degrees. All right, and if you remember doing, let's hope that you did something called unit analysis in chemistry. All right, if you remember converting, like you had things like moles and stuff like that in chemistry, and then you did a bunch of conversion factors with multiplications in there, and then you cross moles on top with moles on bottom, and you cross them all out. That's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to use unit analysis. We're going to take that 60 degrees. Let's say we want 60 degrees and we want to convert that to radians. All right, well, the math. I'm going to put 60 degrees over 1. I'm going to multiply it by the conversion factor of pi radians over 180 degrees. All right, and I know, like after a while, if you understand the unit analysis, you don't have to actually memorize what to multiply by, because pi is 180 degrees, right? I told you that already. I want my degrees in opposite locations so that the labels cross off, okay? So I want my degrees and my degrees to cross off. The only label then I have left is radians, so I know I'm converting to radians. Okay, now I'm going to do the math. I'm going to multiply straight across. I'm going to have 60 pi on top. I'm going to have 180. The only label I have is radians. All right, I can reduce 60 over 80. What, I can cross out the zeros, and then 6 over 18 to be 1 over 3. So it'll convert down to pi over 3 radians. Now on this particular assignment, yeah, we're going to label radians. All right. And I did, when I drew this first circle here, I put radians on there for you. But eventually, what we're going to get to where we're going to get is we're going to go, oh, 60 degrees, pi over 3. We're not going to write radians every time. We're just going to know if it's pi over 3, that's a radian measure. 60 degrees is a degree measure. Okay. If there's a negative, you don't do anything different, because, right, we can have negative measures if we go clockwise around the circle. So let's just do it this way. Let's just say if that would have been a negative 60 degrees, I would have had a negative there, I would have had a negative there, I would have had a negative there. Okay, so there's no difference if there is a negative. All right, now, obviously, 60 degrees comes out to nice. It reduces. You get a little pi over 3. All right, 45 degrees is going to work that way. 30 and 45 is going to work that way. Now, there will be ones that do not. Okay. Any multiple of 30 degrees going all the way around will work out nice. Any multiple of 45 is going to work out nice. Any multiple of 60 is going to work out nice. But you could end up with something that doesn't work out nice. Like if I had 107 degrees, that is not a multiple of 30. It's not a multiple of 45. It's not a multiple of 60. Okay, it's not a multiple of 90. Okay, so doesn't mean we can't do it. We're still going to have 170 degrees over 1. I'm still going to multiply it by pi radians over that 180. I want that 180 on the bottom because I want the degrees to cross out, my label of degrees to cross out. Okay, but now what you're going to get is 107 pi over 180. I can't reduce that fraction. It's not nice. Okay, so I could just leave it like that, but I could also convert it to a decimal in radians. All right, if I were to do this on a calculator. All right, this is just your shortcut. All right, that pi is 180 degrees, right? Or pi, but I don't want to use 180. I'm going to actually use the pi button. So on my calculator, if I did 107 and then I multiplied that by the pi button, let's do it like that. And then I did divide by 180, that will actually give me a decimal in radians. I don't know that you're going to need to do that, Now, a little bit later on this first assignment, I want you to use the unit analysis. We're going to convert between degrees and radians. We're also going to do the other one, radians to degrees. And we're going to do it this way. But eventually, what we're going to do is you're going to do that on a calculator, and you're going to do it really, really fast. Okay? You're going to, and in that one, you will actually use 180. But for right now, for this one, I want you to do the unit analysis, that sort of thing. This would be in radians, a decimal in radians. Okay, are we good on that? Because that's not hard. Math's not hard. Okay, now, again, if I'm going the other direction, if I had radians here, I would just need to flip that, right? Because radians would be on top. I want radians on the bottom, so the radians cross out. So if I'm going from radians to degrees, I'm going to multiply by the inverse or the reciprocal factor. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do some examples. Let's say converting from radians to degrees. Okay, so again, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. I want the 180 degrees on top over the pi radians because I want those radian labels to cross out. Okay, so I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. So I don't know, let's just randomly take, why don't we take that one? Let's do like negative 5 pi third, negative 5 pi over 3 radians. All right, now in your textbook, I think it's going to be written like this, where radians is just going to be out here. Your measurement's going to be here, because in this first section, they're going to actually label all this kind of stuff. All right, now the radians goes in top. So when I go to do the unit analysis, I'm going to put the negative 5 pi. I'm literally going to put the word radians in the top, so I can clearly see that, hey, it's in the top. I'm multiplying by my factor of that 180 degrees over the pi radians. And then that allows me to cross off radians and radians. Radians and radians. Can I cross off anything else? Can I cross off the pi's? Because I got a pi in the top and I got a pi in the bottom. So that's pretty nice. All right, the only label I have left is degrees, which is where I want to go. So I'm going to go straight across the top, and I'm going to multiply negative 5 times 180. All right, and it'll have 3 on the bottom. I'm going to do all the math there. I think this turns out to be like negative 900 over 3, which is negative 300. The only label I have left is degrees. I guess I could put degrees there and degrees there as well. If I were to draw negative 300 degrees, standard position. So I would start here. Am I going to go counterclockwise or clockwise? Going to go clockwise, right, for negative. So here's 90, here's 180, here's 270. So roughly about there. Orientation would be going this way for my theta, and that would be negative 300 degrees. Did I do that right? 90, 180, don't let me make a mistake, 270, a little smudgy bit more. Okay, my math is smudgy bit more. Rough estimate. Okay, so that's what that angle would look like. Your initial side would be here, your terminal side would be here, and the orientation would be clockwise. All right, I'm going to do